Well, first let's talk about denial of service attacks, also known as DOS attacks. These occur when attackers overwhelm a website or online service with excessive traffic, causing it to crash and denying access to legitimate users. How to identify DOS attacks? Sudden or unexplained slowdown of a website or service, frequent service outages without clear reasons. How can we prevent and mitigate DOS attacks? Use traffic filtering. Implement tools that can detect and filter out malicious traffic. Over-provision bandwidth. Ensure your network can handle unexpected surges in traffic. Deploy intrusion detection systems. Use systems that monitors and alert you to unusual traffic patterns, and collaborate with your ISP. Work with your internet service provider to identify and block attack sources.
Next, we have man-in-the-middle attacks. In these scenarios, attackers intercept and possibly alter communications between two parties, leading to data theft or unauthorized manipulation. How to identify man-in-the-middle attacks? First, unexpected prompts for login credentials or security warnings. Then, certificate issues and discrepancies in the website URLs content during secure transactions. How to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks? First, use secure connections and always access websites using the HTTPS, especially when entering insensitive information. An example of this is when an attacker intercepts communications between person 1 and person 2, modifying messages without their knowledge. For instance, if people 1 sends people to a message encrypted with what she believes person 2 is public key, the attacker can replace this person 2 key with their own, altering the message.
Lastly, let's discuss SQL injection attacks. Attackers exploit vulnerabilities in a website database by injecting malicious SQL code, potentially accessing or manipulating sensitive data. How can we identify SQL injection attacks? With unexpected database errors displayed on a website, or unusual or unauthorized data appearing in search results or user accounts. How can we prevent and mitigate SQL injection attacks? We can use prepared statements and configurable queries to ensure that database queries are structured to prevent malicious code executions. We can validate and sanitize user inputs, in which we check and clean all user inputs to prevent harmful data from affecting your database. And we can limit our database permission, in which we assign only necessary permissions to database accounts to minimize potential damage.
A zero-day exploit occurs when cyber criminals exploit a previously unknown vulnerability in software or hardware, one that the vendor or developer is unaware of. Since there's no existing patch or fix, these attackers can be particularly damaging. How to identify these zero-day exploits? First, unusual system behavior, slower performance or unexpected crashes, appearance of unfamiliar pop-ups, messages or alerts, and suspicious network activity. How to prevent or mitigate zero-day exploits attacks? First, keep the software updated and update all the applications or operating systems. An example of this was in 2023 when a sophisticated cyber attack known as Operation Triangulation targeted iOS devices. In this attack, attackers exploit multiple zero-day vulnerabilities to gain unauthorized access to devices.
Hello, and thank you for joining me on this interview. As you may know, cybersecurity is an increasingly critical topic, and yet many people remain unaware of all the risks they face online day by day. That's why today my goal with this interview is to assess your current knowledge and also provide you with some insights about the most common cyber attacks. First, I would like to start with a simple question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your understanding when it comes to cybersecurity threats?
Maybe around a 7. I know about cyber attacks, but I am not an expert. Like, I understand the basic threats, like phishing and malware, and I try to follow best practices like using strong passwords and avoiding suspicious links.
That's great. Let's go into specifics. Are you familiar with denial of service, also known as DOS attacks? If so, could you briefly describe what they are?
Yes, it's when hackers flood a system with excessive requests, making it unavailable to users. Someone told me that some attackers even demand ransom payments to stop the disruption.
Excellent. In more severe cases, the distributed denial of service attack involves multiple compromised devices flooding a target at once. These attacks can take down entire services, costing businesses millions. Now, moving on, have you heard about man-in-the-middle attacks?
Oh, I don't know. Is it when someone listens to your conversation, which can lead to fraud?
That's close. Basically, a man-in-the-middle attack is when an attacker secretly positions themselves between two communicating parties in order to steal or alter information. This is particularly common in unsecured public Wi-Fi networks. Here is where the attacker can capture login credentials or banking details. Now, let's discuss SQL injection. Have you heard of it?
Oh yes, it's an attack where a malicious SQL code is injected into a database to access or manipulate sensitive information.
That's right. Cybercriminals use this technique in order to exploit vulnerabilities in web applications so that they can gain unauthorized access to databases. Finally, do you know the term zero-day exploit?
A zero-day exploit is a hack that takes advantage of a hidden software problem, and it's very risky since no one knows about it because hackers can use it for a long time before anyone notices it.
That's exactly the answer. So to reduce risk, you can keep your systems updated, use security tools such as firewalls or antivirus, be aware of unusual activity, and something that might be really helpful is employees training. Now that we've gone through these cyber attacks, do you feel more informed about them?
Wow, I didn't realize how common these cyber attacks are. I need to be more cautious online.
Excellent. So as you saw during this interview, cybersecurity is an ongoing battle, but at the end of the day, the awareness is the first step to protection. Thank you for your time, and remember to be careful and safeguard your digital life.